Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a great evening. It is Monday. Happy Monday. I just wanted to stop by and kind of get some, I want you guys to kind of get to know me again. Is that how you say it? Know me again? No, basically to talk about some of the things that I've done and how I want to continue empowering you guys. First of all, if you're on, I should have put, okay, you know, we're on, you can't clip my wings. We're also streaming out of my YouTube channel, and we're streaming off of my personal uh, page. I'm saying channel. I'm saying page. I meant to say page. Facebook page. I am Talita McCall, and I just wanted to stop by and hang out with you guys for just a little bit. I wanted to share some things with you because a lot of people know me, and then there's people who don't know me. So all the people who don't know me, go over to our website. You can't clip my wings.com, all one word. You can't clip my wings.com, and check out our website. I have some blogs on there. I talk about different things. I talk about I've got some upcoming stuff, upcoming events and stuff on there. So it's just some kind of, you'll get to know who I am and what I've been doing. So I just wanted to come over here and kind of reintroduce myself and kind of show you some things that I've done and what is my journey, how my journey has been getting to where I'm at now. And I wanted to start off, where do you begin? How do you start off doing what I do? It's not rocket science. You just have to have a drive. You have to have a need and a purpose. Remember, I talk about having a purpose to do something. And with the passion comes the purpose. Let me say it like that. And so I've always written, I always wanted to write something. I've always had that in my spirit ever since I was a little girl. I've been writing stuff. My first play, I think I wrote when I was in the fourth or fifth grade. I can't remember. Um, let's see. Okay. Um, in the fourth or fifth grade, I wrote my first play. I actually produced and directed my first play when I lived in Tennessee. You see the span? I was a grown woman with a child before I actually produced my own play. But in that time, my passion and my purpose never changed. I still was in high school. And I said this on our other radio show, our podcast. I was telling how I used to be with the Thespian Club when I was at Bolton High. People who know that's a local uh, high school here, and I was able to play in those. When I went to Peabody, I played in the Wiz. So I've always been a theatrical person. I've always been a person who expresses myself, but it took me a long time to get there. I was reading one of my blogs that I put on You Can't Clip My Wings, and one of the blogs where I was talking about. Matter of fact, I think I reloaded it up. I was talking about how I used to wouldn't talk. And I remember one day we were visiting someone when I was a little girl, and this is when I lived in New York. And somebody asked my mom, "Could I speak?" And is something wrong with her or something? And what they didn't realize was at the time when I was little, I used to keep very, 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 very painful earaches. And I was suffering from tonsillitis, but at the time, I don't think my mom knew, and I don't think anybody else knew what it was. So what happens is that your tonsils stay swollen all the time. So when I would speak, I spoke with a heavy tongue. So it sounded like a deaf person would, when a deaf person talks, you notice how they talk with a heavy tongue. Well, that's how my words were coming out. So I would not speak at all. I wouldn't talk at all. I would just sit around. Now I talked with my sisters and stuff, but when it came to talking out in public, I wouldn't talk. So people thought it was something wrong with me. So finally, I guess my mom took me to the doctors and they found out that my tonsils were very badly, very, very, very badly swollen. And it was one of the reasons why I was having terrible earaches. I mean, my mom used to have to rock me to sleep at night. My earaches were so bad. So finally, I got my tonsils removed and then I could talk. Well, ever since I got my tonsils removed, I haven't stopped talking. and I'm what, 56 years old. So that's a long time to be talking, right? Um, I do have my quiet moments. I do know how to be quiet sometimes. So in the process of doing that, I kind of celebrated myself through my writings and expressing how I felt about a lot of things through how I wrote. So, like I said, my first play I wrote when I was in the fifth or sixth grade. And let me tell you how that came about. When we were young, my mom used to do the Christmas program for our school. See, we've always been in that atmosphere where my mom was very, very big part of how we grew up, how our school went, how our education went. She was very, because she was part of the PTA. And she instilled in us not to always be so shy about everything. So what she would do was she would make us perform during the Christmas holidays. Whenever they have a holiday program, I don't care what program it was, she made sure that we had a part in it. So we were used to do the Christmas plays, and she would always have somebody recite a poem. So she made sure we knew those points. So it seems like out of all the girls, out of all of us, I was the only one who enjoyed being on the stage. My other sisters were kind of uncomfortable about it, but I was the only one who actually loved doing it. I said, wow, I really like doing it. So it wasn't no pulling my leg or anything to get me to do it, because I would do it. I love to be. I just love to see people's expression on their face when they see me up there. So anyway, so that never left me. So I went on, even when I did it in high school. And when I was stationed in Germany, I had an opportunity to do a play in Germany. And I'm trying to figure out, and it was me and some soldiers' wives that were part of the play. It was a couple of me and another person that was actual military service. And the other characters in the play, the other women, were actually mothers and regular people. They weren't in the service, but they were wives of service members. And we did our play. And the people who knew me didn't know that I did that. So when they came to the play, they like was shocked because they see the everyday Swafford, because that was my name. They see the everyday Swafford, and then all of a sudden they see this dramatic lady on stage, doing all this moving around and dancing, and they were like shocked, like, we did not believe that's you. That's because they didn't know me prior to me coming to Germany and being stationed with them. So they really enjoyed that side of me because they never seen that side of me. They always saw me working military. Now I liked to party back then. That was back in the 80s. Everything happened back in the 80s. So I liked to party and get out and stuff, but they never saw that there is a really dramatic, serious side of me. So so when they saw that, it was like surprising. So they saw a different light of me. And that made me feel good because regardless of how we do these videos and we do all this, we do have parts of us that don't always, we don't always feel like we want to, you know. But I know the only way that I love teaching people is you need to see who's teaching you. I don't always have to be on camera, but I like doing it every now and then. So this is one of the times I like to do it. So to get back to the story, I keep rattling on. I don't mean to rattle on. But anyway, so when they saw that side of me, it's never left me. So like I said, I directed a children's play and a play, excuse me, it was called The Funeral. And when I was in Tennessee. And what it was, I got these young ladies, young men that actually were characters in the play. And it was about this young boy who did not, no matter what his mom told him, he came from a great family, but no matter what his mom told him, he would never listen. He wound up dying. And that was what the story is about. And they really loved it. The community center loved it. Then prior to that, when I lived in Kansas, yeah, I lived in Kansas. I lived a lot of places. I loved moving around. When I lived in Kansas, I was part of the Kansas City Players. There was a group. Michael Chisholm was our director and president, and I was part of the Kansas City Players. And I had an opportunity to play in one of their plays, which was awesome. And they thought I was so funny. Um, and we had such a great time. And in the meantime, I met some wonderful people. when I was doing that because we actually got a chance to travel around a little bit and do those. So that is the theatrical side of Salida that's there. And I've always wanted to own my own theater one day. So that never stopped me from doing all my writing. So I continued to write and to take to the point where I wanted to publish something was my very I'm going to make you guys laugh. I wrote these poems years ago, but I never actually collect them together and actually put them in a book. And I'm going to show you something, and I'm going to show you a lot of something. Okay, but this is the first one. My, can you see that? This is my very first cover of my very first book of poems, and it's called The Spirit of Being. And my niece did the drawing on it. She actually created the art for it. Okay. And I literally made it. I literally copied it and actually put it together. So this was my first book of poetry, and it was called The Spirit of Being. And let me tell you something, you guys. I literally sold my books myself while I was, um, I think I sold them when I was at the Youth Challenge program. And these kids were literally buying these books. Okay. That was so funny. That was my very first book, I think. Yeah, that was my very first book. That was my very first book. Then, after I self-published that and moved on, and I started doing other things. Then there was a part of me, and I'm thinking when I was in Tennessee, I had this ideal of talking to people about their businesses, talking to women, being because I felt that then it was a time for us to do more for women, as far as African American women opening their own businesses. How could I help them? What could I give back to them? Um, with all the information. Now, by then, I had already graduated from two business schools. I graduated from Wright Business School in Lenexa, Kansas, and before that I graduated from Millermont Business School in Clarksville, Tennessee. So I had already graduated from those two schools, so I had a little bit up under my belt. And I said, I want to give back to our African American women because I think there's a need for us to really want to do for them. So I start kind of studying a lot about how businesses work, how we get together, how do we do this as entrepreneurs. So I went through classes, I went to conferences, I went through the SBA program, I did everything. So I said, I'm going to write a book talking about handling your business. I want to start a series. So what I did was the first thing I did was I created this book right here. I don't know if you can see that. I created this book right here, and it is called Handling Your Business. How does your garden grow? Okay. And it has a pledge in the back of it. And I think I talked about this on my podcast. And the pledge in the back, and it tells about the whole book. And the pledge in the back says this: I, Salida McCall, I didn't put my name in it, but it says, I, blank, have decided to take on my dreams and live my life to the fullest. I pledge not to allow anybody or anything to deter me from my path of success. I also pledge to use the following tools. These are the tools that are in the book: faith, self esteem, confidence, and perseverance. And the seeds were to plant the seeds, true to yourself, positivity, trust, empowerment, and knowledge, and to avoid the stumbling blocks, low self-esteem, shortcomings, friends, family, men, and myself, because we can be our own stumbling blocks. I will no longer accept the fact that I may be one of the four gardeners, because we named the four gardeners, um, knowing that there are not a positive attribute of my better self. I will commit my heart, body, and soul to the total happiness of myself. So this is the pledge that you take once you finish the book. Okay. Um, let's see here. I want to go over something real quick with you. In here. Okay, I want to talk about the four types of gardeners. We have the needy gardener. gardener is very needy. No matter what, they need something all the time. The messy gardener, everywhere this gardener goes, there is mess. The lazy gardener, a gardener that never wants to lift her garden tools to use them and do anything. She wants everybody to do for her. And then there's the doormat gardener. The doormat gardener always allows herself to be a welcome mat to anyone and everyone, just like to be used. So the question was, which gardener are you? And you don't want to be neither one of them. Okay. So that was one of the books I read. I wrote. Then what I did was I put together a yearly planner. Now, y'all got to remember, now, this is years ago. You see how it's tattered? Because I've had this forever. This is one of my first prints. And I literally did a yearly planner. I didn't know back then that they didn't have to be this big, but I did. Okay. So, what I did with this one is I said, we know 24 hours is not enough time in the day for us. We need to stay on our toes. Hopefully, we can squeeze our husbands, kids, and friends in somewhere throughout our journey to the world of success. Therefore, I thought it would be great to create a tool to assist you in this journey. Okay. And literally, each page has something different on it. I know you can't see because it's light, but it has the month and the date, the year on the top. It says the wardrobe check, your color, type, and describe what you're wearing that day. You're actually going to write it down. What's on your agenda that day? And then at the bottom, it has bullets. Make sure you check the weather, do a mirror check, don't forget your cell phone, and smile. Say hello. They may be your next client. So I put that together, and that was on every page. Okay. And then in the back, I set up a reference. I put together a phone directory in the back for all your clients and any business transactions you need. You actually had a page in here. See, you guys, this is way before um, planners were a big thing. Now planners are very big now. Um, so in the back of this one, is this the one in the back of? Yeah, I think. Oh, okay. And also, I put together in the back of this book, I put to log in your miles for your gas and keep your gas receipts. I put that in the back. Your monthly expenses. This is all for your business. I also made sure that you keep up with your licenses. Um, I gave the information for the license. These are just things you should know. Keep your business plan updated in case you need to request for more investment money. Update your knowledge of software that pertain to your business. Make sure to stay knowledgeable of business tax laws. Each state has their own. Polish up your customer service skills. And then network equals to profits. And then I gave you some recommended websites, the irs.gov, entrepreneur.com, Forbes, Gabler.com, resources for entrepreneurs by the state, women owned, and SBA.gov, score.org, women's. And then I said, now go out there and handle your business. So I put this together years ago. I don't even remember when I wrote this. I can't remember. But I self-published this. Okay. Then I thought about different ways to actually do the journal. I went back and I did, you got to excuse me. Y'all would not believe me if I did that. This is a kind of a smaller version of it, or a combined version, or small. I don't know how do you say that, but a shorter version. And it was HYB Personal Journal Handling Your Business Series. So this one, let me see if it's similar to this one. I think I compacted. Yeah. These are actually the same. I just compacted. I just took it from this to this. Actually, that from that to this. So I put it in something like this. So this was the last journal that I did. And it basically called Handle Your Business, All About Me, Personal Journal. Now, in this journal, we actually talk about things that to keep up with. Say if you want to get pregnant, for instance, it talks about the date of your menstrual, when it starts and when it ends, your breast exams, if you wanted to get your hair cut, colored, permed, whatever you did with your hair, your pedicure, date of your pedicure, your manicure, you have a place to put all that. You can't see that. Can you see that, you guys? I don't know if you can see that or not. The light is so bright. Then this is on every day. Then at the end of the book, I actually have, I told you I love doing workbooks. I have a place for all your notes. And then there is a personality. What I think about me workbook, how you see yourself now and when you look back at yourself in the future. I don't know how you can look back at yourself in the future. I don't understand when I wrote that. But but I actually put together a little questionnaire in here. How do you feel about yourself? Is there anything about yourself you would like to change? Do you think if do you think that if there are any changes, you would truly be happy with them? So I kind of broke it down. And then we talked about what type of personality are you? Choose from one or more the 16 personality traits. See if which one you fall up under. So I had all of that in here. And then you have your journal pages, your dreams, aspiration, goals in here, and then notes. So this is what I did with that book. Um, and I put in here actually dates to remember when it comes to, and actually in our new magazine that we have coming out called Be Boisterous, Be Bold, actually is going to have talking about every month what's awareness month is. Last month was domestic violence awareness month and breast cancer month. So I made sure to tell that in there. Also, this month is November, and this is diabetic and premature birth month for November. And I know we almost over with November, but I'm almost finished with the magazine. You guys, when I did this, I had to think about how I was going to do the magazine. Was I going to do it on a monthly or weekly basis? It was best for me to do it on a monthly basis. So it's a lot of information I have to gather before I get the magazine out. So I'm already working on December, even though we're still in November, because I still got to get November and October out. Okay, they're still out. The information is not going to change. It's still the same information. It's just that I want to get them out in sequels like I'm supposed to every month. When you take on a challenge like that, you guys, it really is a challenge. Okay. Um, so, but anyway, this was one of the books that I created. I created that. Then I kind of stepped away from the motivation and all that. And I wanted to go in a different route. So I like fiction. Everybody likes fiction majority of the time. So I thought about writing something about love, relationships, and stuff like that. So what I did was I self-published my first romance book. Yeah, it's real short. The story is very dynamic. It's not anything anybody can write, but it was my first love story book I wrote. When I finished this book, I went on and I wrote this book called White Dove. This was about a young lady who was a Native American and she suffered from schizophrenia that she didn't know she had. Her mom didn't know she had, but her dad did. And her dad was estranged from her until later on in the book. So she winds up in a mental hospital because that was like the last resort. That's all they can do. But it's a very good story. Um, so I wrote that one. I told you the ending. I'm sorry, you guys. Even if you wanted a copy of it, I apologize. But what I think I've done is I pulled White Dove off Amazon. So it shouldn't be in circulation right now. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and rewrite those. There is another book I wrote. Um, it's called Mighty Men of the Ministries, and it was about these four pastors. Oh, that book is heavy. I had that in ebook, but I think I discontinued that one right now too, because I'm going to pull those back and really, really redo them because I've learned a lot about writing that I didn't know. So you always have to keep your mind open to learn things all the time. So I keep myself learning things all the time. So I'm gonna pull those back. This right here, and you can't see it, is actually my book called. This is the book called I'm the Captain's Son. No, I'm the Captain's Boy. Is the name of this book right here. And this book right here is where actually the birth of You Can't Clip My Wings come from, because this is my story about my PTSD and about my incident that led to the PTSD while I was serving the country. Yeah. So that book, and I had been telling people about this book years ago, and I still never finished it. But I actually finished it. I just haven't finished it. I haven't actually published it yet. So it's complete, but I just haven't published it. So those are, let me see, the other one. Let me make sure I got every one of them. Yeah. Then I love another thing I love doing is photography. I love photography, guys. Okay? I love doing it. I love taking pictures of people. I love taking pictures. My favorite thing to take a picture of. Guys, if you like, tell me what you like to do. I love taking pictures of old churches. I don't know why. I think they hold so much historical foundation for us as Black people more than any other symbol of who we are is our churches. So I love taking pictures of churches. And when I started doing that, that's when I really got into doing photography. I did a photo shoot, a model photo shoot for a young man. It came out great. I was like over just I didn't realize I was like, did I do this with my camera? Because I didn't realize that I was pretty good with the camera. So what I did was I took pictures of my dogs. Okay, I love my dogs. Um, one one that's in this book, she passed away. Uh, I wrote this book. Okay, it's a little children's book. See? A little children's book, and it's called Puppy Love Unlimited. That was my little thing I had for my dogs. I called it Puppy Love Unlimited because I had actually had a blog I was doing about my dogs. Okay, they actually had their own thing, and it's present a trip to the lake with Rocky and Rosie, and photography by CB Photography. That's me, CB McCall. Okay, so these are just pictures that I took of my dogs, and I made them into a book. Okay, that's all I did. I actually designed the book, put it together. I don't let you see everything because it's still out for sale. But this is a little cute little book that I wrote for my dogs and selling them. Okay, can't beat that, right? Prior to that, I had this thing about Black love. And I think it's so important that Black love be displayed like it needs to be seen because, people say we don't get along when all this stuff goes on. And it's not for everybody. But I thought there was a need to show Black love. And these guys that I have in this book are people here, actually locally here, that actually I gave me permission to take their pictures. And I put together a book called The Vision of Black Love. You make love look easy. As you can see, you probably know this couple, but they were in this book. Yeah, these are local people. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of show you a little bit of the pictures that I took. I'm not gonna show you everything because this book is actually still on sale. Okay. So this is I'm gonna read some stuff to you real quick. All right. Hold your horses. Okay. I said, this book is dedicated to all Black love, the union of strength and stability, the power of the sun and the moon exploding in the universe. Yes, Black love is a symbol of magic. That's a little racy, huh? Okay. Um, I'll share something else with you because I think these are so cute. I don't know where I came up with all this from. I said, we go through life wondering how can love possess our very soul and not really consume us. In the process, we need to feel alive. And when that someone special comes along, we become weak, our emotions are heightened, and we give our all to that one special person. Our days are filled with mental and physical memories, but our nights are filled with the spirit of love and sensual energy. Isn't that cute? Okay, so all through the book, you'd be surprised at the people that actually let me take their picture. Um, this couple right here is my sister and her husband. Okay. And this came out. When I look into your eyes, I see your soul, and it makes my heart resound in joy. Your smile sends my spirit to worlds unknown. The warmth of your lips makes me dizzy with love and anticipation of what the evening will bring. Whoa, this would be a great Christmas present, right? A romantic Christmas present. Okay, and then on the back, I caught them standing by their bikes. So these are actually my photography hobbies that I turned into a book. I have another little book of nothing but pictures, but I don't know where it's at because I have so many books. Okay, so yeah, I wrote these, and I just think these are so cute. Those are the last books. Nope, that's not the last book I wrote. Actually, my In Search of You and the workbook is the book. Yeah, is my last books I just wrote. So, and did I tell y'all this is my oldest sister on the cover? I love this lady. She keeps me in line. If you want somebody to calm me down, that's the only lady can calm me down. That's the only lady that Salida. Let's think rational here. She's the only one who can do that. Nobody else. Okay. And that's because I don't let anybody else. No, but she's the one who makes me really like, Salida, did you just say what you just said? Kind of really think about it before it comes out. So she's the one who keeps me alive. So I just wanted to tell you that part of my life. And the reason why I do what I do, because I love to see people smile. I love to be a help to a lot of people. And so that's the reason why I named this Embrace You. I said Embrace You is because we have to be comfortable with ourselves. My son has a habit of telling me, Mom, you always downplay what we do and how we do it. You downplay what you do. I don't believe in having to always boast and brag about everything. I really don't. But I do want people to get in their minds that because I'm doing it doesn't mean you can't do it. So every now and then, I think it's very important for us to share what our accomplishments are, how we did them, and when we did them. I think it's good for us to do it. Just I don't have to do it all the time because I know what my accomplishments are. And if you're really interested in me and you want to know anything about me, guess what? You're going to ask me. But never be ashamed of what you've done. And sometimes we take confidence and we overlap it in mindset and put it in the mindset of us being arrogant or cocky. But when you are sure of yourself, it doesn't matter. And again, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody in the process. It's just that people, lots of times, people need to know about you. They need to know where you come from. They need to know your background. Because in order for me to say that I want to work with you or I want to be your friend or I want to do anything with you, I need to know who you are. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. And keep in mind, you guys, when you're in the process of embracing you, there are things about you you're not going to like. Now, because of that, that shouldn't stop you from wanting to love you. You understand what I'm saying? Because what that tells me is we'll put up with other people's bull crap about them and still love them, but we have a hard time loving ourselves. We don't want to accept who we are and our flaws and our down times and our down days and when we're not feeling good and when we don't think people love us and all of that plays into how we actually see each other or how we see ourselves. Um, and we have to learn not to always feel ashamed because everything is not going to be the way we want it to be. It's not, regardless of how confident you are. Sometimes things it's not for you, and we have to understand that. And sometimes that's hard for someone to take that in that don't understand that. Hey, it's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, it passes, but it's hard. And I'm saying that from experience. When things fall through for me, it depends on what it is, it becomes devastating for me. And I don't know how it is for you guys. And when you start feeling like it's your fault that certain things, we have to constantly tell ourselves, no, it's not your fault. It is not your fault that that didn't work out the way it was supposed to. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that people don't believe in you. That's something you don't even, you got to still be you. And sometimes that's hard for some people. Sometimes um sometimes that's hard for some people to be able to do that. Really it is. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. So sometimes it's hard for you to do that. And then we find ourselves trying to, kind of, okay, this is what I need to do. And it's hard. It really is. But you know what? It's only hard because we have set in our mind for it to be hard. We don't see an easy way out of it. But there are ways we can do things differently when things don't fall the way we want to. Everything is not going to, you know, everything is not going to, you know. And we have to embrace those imperfections. We've got to embrace those things that we thought would work, don't work. We've got to embrace all of that. And it's up to us to do that. Um, and because of the way that our minds and our emotions are set up, we're not always prepared for that. You And it takes a long time to get there. If you're not there already, it does take a minute or two to get there. I'm going to tell you that from experience. It does. When people say no to me, I took that personal. When really, in reality, it wasn't personal, just the way things are. When when people, you feel that you have people in your corner that are going to work with you and be there for you, we have to understand that everybody is not as loyal to us as we are to them. And they don't understand that because if they've never had to be loyal, they wouldn't embrace what loyalty is. So, if anybody you need to be loyal to is yourself first. Remember, if you look back on You Can't Clip My Wings Facebook page, first person you need to fall in love with, your first love should be who? You. And that's not being selfish. That's not being self centered. That is the truth because you are very much so important to you. And it's hard sometimes. When you're a person that always gives, and do for everybody, it is so hard to say, you know what? I'm not doing for nobody else today. So anybody come to me and ask me for something, I'm gonna say no. Because you're sucking those people sometimes in your life suck the energy out of you, suck all your energy and don't leave you with nothing. So at the end of the day, you take your shower, all you want to do is lay down and go to sleep. You're not even doing any self care during that time. Self care is taking that time after a hectic day, turn off everything, find a spot where you can just be you. Don't talk to nobody. Don't say nothing to nobody. Hi, kids. Well, say hi to the kids, say hi to the honey or whatever, but go into that space where you don't want to be bothered by anybody. And we don't know how to do it. A lot of us don't know how to do that. But there is a way to do that and get you back because we find ourselves losing us in everybody else. Remember, I talked about the gardeners, the doormat garden. That's where we fall in, where everybody else walks right over us, do whatever. Can you pick me up from soccer practice? Can you take me to the mall? Can we, you're doing everything for everybody else, but there's no time for you. At the end of the day, even though you've worked all day long, you still got a list of stuff that you got to do. You still got a list of things you've got to do. and it's never time for you. So by the time the night comes, say by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you're just getting in bed. You're just winding down, and you still haven't taken care of you. So you get up and you do this every day. Back up, and then after a while, your body and your mind is like, wait a minute, hold up. You got to stop. We got to think. We got to start taking care of me. And then you get the help you need to be able to take care of yourself. I started meditating, think at I think I started meditating in March, actually doing meditation every day. And what I've realized is that it's helped me so much. And, meditation doesn't necessarily mean you can meditate as prayers. Meditation is a form of meditation. I found my like actually meditating, chakra, the whole nine yards. Everybody might not agree with that, but that's fine. Whatever makes you be you, do it. Okay. I'm not sitting up here downplaying anybody's religion or whatever. I'm just saying I know what works for me. I know what makes me get up every morning to do what I do. I know no matter how bad I feel and no matter how bad my situation may be, I still get up every day and do this. And it helps me get through my days. And it's not for everybody. Okay. Um, and I have to know what's best for me. Like I want you to know what's best. And that's why it's so important that you embrace yourself. And we here over here at You Can't Clip My Wings, we want to be your cheerleader. We want to be that one to keep pushing you. You don't want to be pushed in. And that's why on You Can't Clip My Wings Facebook page, I love putting out those inspirations. I love giving you guys something to work with. I love giving you something to listen to. I love giving you something to think about because everybody's not going to do that. Everybody's not going to take the time out to do that. Okay. I'm not perfect by no means. I don't come off like I'm perfect. I can't. I would be lying. And the friends that I have, some of the Facebook friends are actually friends who know me in real life. No, know me, know all my everything about me. It's not too much of me has changed. There's a lot of parts of me have changed, but not too much. My mind hasn't changed. I think once I started talking, I was talking and talking and talking and talking, and I haven't stopped. That's something they definitely embrace about me. And it's important how you let your energy um, escape from you. And it's important that the energy that you release is energy somebody else can use. Okay. Positive energy. And we can't be positive 24/7. I'm not even going to try that because I get angry, I get mad, I cuss, I fuss, I complain, I do all those things. I am not going to sit here and pretend like I am this perfect person and, oh, I don't do anything wrong and my life is so perfect. And not far from it. But what I have to do is I have to make joy. I have to be able to laugh at some of the things that happens in my life. I can be angry. I can be angry a lot of times. And I find myself being angry about a lot of things that happen in my life. Especially a lot of things that I had no control. But I can't always carry that anger around with me. It doesn't work. Man, that makes you so miserable. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it 24/7. And I don't think everybody's built to do that. I think some people create a world where they're doom and gloom 24/7. I don't want a world like that. God has gifted each and every one of us. The Creator has gifted each and every one of us with something that's different and purposeful and has passion. We just got to find it. And it starts with you embracing who you are and enjoying every moment of it, despite how people see you. It's how you see yourself. And I said that yesterday on a post. Forget how other people see you because they're going to see you, because they're looking at the outside. They don't know what goes on when you close your door. They don't know when you're alone, how you feel, what takes how much energy it takes, how much strength it takes for you to even start your days. They don't get that. And some of them really don't care. Some of them really don't care. I just know that it's very, very important that you take care of you. Embrace everything about you, whether you're a plus size woman, whether you're a skinny woman, whether you're flat chested or big chested, whether you have flaws on your face or whether you have a beautiful face, if you have beautiful hair, if you have whatever, look at yourself. Get butt naked. You know how you can embrace yourself? You have an opportunity, you have a full length mirror or just a mirror in general. Get butt naked. I know that sounds kind of freaky, but get butt naked and look at yourself from head to toe and tell yourself what you love about each and everything that you don't love about yourself. And say that and say it over and over and over and over again to yourself every day when you get up to go take a shower, stand in front of your mirror and tell yourself what you love about you. And say it every day and see how different you'll start feeling about yourself. And it takes a long time to do that. It really does. And because we're made of emotions and all this, we lots of us don't like looking at ourselves. We don't. We hate ourselves. We pretend like we love us, but we really and truly hate how, and we punish ourselves for that because we can't love ourselves the way that we need. But I tell any woman, I'll tell any man, learn how to love you first. Because nobody wants to be in a relationship where you have a person who's sure of themselves, but they're with somebody who's not sure of themselves. So you're taking all your extra energy trying to push this person up, when in reality, the person has never even learned how to love themselves. How do you find yourself in love with someone like that? That's kind of hard. And that's a lot of, to me, that seems like more of a problem in the relationship. That would be your main problem, is because you're with a person who's never loved themselves. And they're with you because they want you to love them, but they don't love themselves. It doesn't make any sense. But this is how relationships are. A lot of our relationships are built off of people who don't individually love them. I can look in the mirror and say, Salita, I love you. With your big lips, your big nose, your fat cheeks, and your big body. I, I mean, hey, it's me. I gotta love me. If nobody else ever does, I gotta love me, and I gotta be proud to say, I love you. But we don't do that. We don't do that enough. And it's hard. It's hard because we have to put on a mask every day. We gotta put on the front every day. We get on Facebook, we get on Instagram, we get on Twitter, Periscope, we get on all these different TikTok, all these different platforms, and we pretend like, hey, I'm in reality, we all got some issues. But you gotta be smart with your issues, and you gotta be like, hey, this is me. This is who I am. And people can feel if you're confident in yourself. Understand that. People can feel how you feel. People know if you're quote unquote shy or if you don't feel good about yourself. People can see that. People can feel it. Do not underestimate people. People are very smart and intuitive and pays attention to a lot of stuff. Because you might catch me slipping sometime. What do I need to do? Do I need to get upset about it? No. It's okay, hell. Yeah. Sometimes I am shy. Sometimes I am this way. I can't get mad about it. I gotta embrace it. Say, okay, yeah, that's who it is. But guess what? At the end of the day, I love me. You don't have to love me, but I love you. And that's why it's so important that you look at yourself and talk about yourself to you and embrace you and be happy to be you. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to nobody else, but you listen to your heart and your spirit. And your spirit will tell you the same thing. You need to love you. Give out all the love and don't leave nothing for yourself. Don't make no sense. And you're empty, you're drained, you're depressed, you're irritable, you're angry. That's because you're not paying attention to you. You're not giving you. You're giving you to everybody else but yourself. And that's something we gotta stop. We gotta stop doing that. We got a new year coming in. We got 2021 coming in. Okay. 2021 is right around the corner. Are we really ready? Are we? Are you truly ready for 2021? Because I think we weren't ready for 2020. I think 2020 happened and we just look held on to the handlebars. Okay. But we need to be prepared for 2021. That means mindfully prepared. And that's why you gotta love yourself because you don't know what you're about to hit on. You don't know where you're about to go. Even though we plan all day long. And we can plan our futures, nothing wrong with that. And we can stick to that plan. But sometimes some things happen where that plan has to be. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for an alternate? Do you have a plan B when plan A doesn't work? We all got to be prepared because I don't think this is over with. 2021, I don't think 2020 is just going to cut off. It's all over with what happened in 2021. 2020 is gone, is done. No, I don't see that. I see a lot of things that's happened in 20 is going to slip right over into 2021. So are you prepared for that? Are you ready for the same old, or do you want something different? Hmm? Do you want to change in your life? Let me tell you something what I did. At the beginning of this year, I said to myself, it wasn't no resolution, no nothing like that. I told myself what I was no longer going to tolerate in my life. I told myself what I wanted to do in my life at the beginning of the year because something came over me that told me you're not loving yourself enough. And I started loving myself, and things in my life start changing because I start putting me first. And I have a hard time with that. Anybody who knows me, I have a very hard time embracing me first. And when I changed my path, I'm telling you guys, things in my life start changing. When I start paying attention to what I needed and what I wanted, things in my life start slowly but surely changing. Matter of fact, I'm in the process of changing now. I'm still like a snake. No, I'm not like a snake, but when they shed their skin, or a butterfly, a caterpillar in its cocoon, and where it starts to open up and he's coming out and he's changing. I'm still in that process. And we're almost out of 20, right? So I'm still in that process. And I'm pulling away from the skin and pulling away these extra layers and stuff. I'm still doing it every day. Every day, something different. I'm dealing with so much right now, and I can smile about it. Things are going, they gotta go. But I have my moments when I say, look, okay, I need a break. I need a break from all of this. And then I gotta come right back to it. And you gotta be able to do that. You gotta come back to it. Okay, I'm back in the fight again. Okay. I'm back in taking care of everything. You gotta be that person. And you can't be it until you look at yourself and say, I love you. I don't have anything against. We already know something naturally. God loves us. Everybody knows the Creator loves us. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But we don't love ourselves like we want everybody else to love us. You want to be loved by everybody, but you can't even give yourself that type of love. That's scary. That's scary. So, what I want to say to you guys is you've got to first look at yourself and say, I love me. When you start loving you and putting you first and caring for you mentally, emotionally, whatever, take care of you first. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with clothes. It has nothing to do with none of that. I'm talking about the natural, but how we say that? But bookie, naked you. Start loving that person first. And when you can love yourself, I promise you guys, I'm not just saying this, I'm talking from experience. When you start loving you, nothing else matters. Not being selfish, nothing else matters at that moment because you've got to take care of yourself. Mentally and emotionally, we are messed up. I wanted to say the F word, but I'm not going to say that word. We are truly messed up. We're so in the business to impress everybody else, and we can't even impress ourselves. You got to love yourself first to be impressed by yourself. We're not impressed by ourselves. It's good to pretend and put on a mask, quote unquote, and put on the airs that you got all this and you're doing all. It's easy to do that, you guys. It really is. It truly is easy to do that. But in reality, you're nothing like what you're putting out there. You're not. And what's amazing is people who know me know this is me. People who truly know me know this is who I am. I don't put on no airs. I can't. I don't pretend I have a lot of money and I live in a big, great, big old pretty house. I don't have to do none of that. Because one thing about it, I can't take none of this with me. When it's time for me to go, I can't take none of this with me. I don't want to. I want to leave it to somebody. Can't take none of it. So I don't come off like I'm rich and I'm lavish and all that. I'm a diva. I don't ever call me a diva because I'm not a diva. I'm not a diva. I'm not the B word. I'm not none of that. I'm just me. And as you get older, I'm older now. I'm learning something. The more and more I embrace me, the more and more the things that I think I don't need them. I, I know that sounds crazy, but it's so true. What I'm realizing is the older I get, I no longer want a lot of things that I thought I wanted when I was younger. So I don't have to break my neck and do all these things to have, I don't have to do that. Because if you've already laid the foundation, what else do you, I mean, come on, think about it. One thing I've learned is you have to live at the minimums, the minimal. You don't, I mean, to each his own. I'm not knocking anybody who think that the end at the end of the road, when you get older, you gotta have all this. I'm not saying you can't have that. Have it if that's what you want. I'm saying for me, it's not what I want. I mean, people spend their money on whatever they want to. But I'm telling you, with me, because of how I've learned how much things take the place of the emptiness we have within ourselves, things replace the emptiness. Things replace us paying attention to us. We get distracted. I don't have to think about me. I don't have to think about the ideal that I'm really not a whole person. I don't have to think about none of that. I don't have to get the help. Guess what? I just bought me a brand new car. I'm gonna talk about my new car. I'm gonna talk about my beautiful, big, huge house. I'm gonna talk about my nice Gucci purse. Or that's more important. That's what I'm striving for. Because guess what it does? It fills a void. We don't want to say that. We don't want to say that those Gucci purses, those Louis Vuitton, the red bottom shoes, those things fill a void. We don't want to say that. That's a taboo. They fill a void. It's not about just because you want it and you can afford it. It fills a void. Money fills a void because we don't want to look at ourselves. It's easy to be distracted or deflate. I mean, not deflate, deflect from the real what's really going on with us. It's easy. That's a easy thing to do. Not hard at all. We bury ourselves in debt because guess what? We don't want to face up. Yeah. So it's easy. What comes easy is what we go for. The hard part, like I said, is looking at ourselves in the mirror and saying, I love you with everything about you. I love you and I can deal with you. I don't have to have anybody else tell me about you. I can tell you about you. And that's the craziest thing that we don't really look at. How you going to love everybody else? We give our all and all to our families, our friends, everything. And we never stop and look in the mirror. We'll pass by the mirror. Oh, we'll put our makeup on, we'll put our hair on, or we'll do our hair or whatever. But we don't never take time out and say, you know what? Hey, you know what? I really like you. You're a cool person. You're a nice person. I really love you. I love everything about you. We're not gonna, but we can quickly say that about a man or a woman. We can say that, baby, I love you. So you ask yourself, have you ever really truly said to yourself you love yourself and really mean it? Have you ever truly fell in love with yourself? Do y'all know what that feels like to really truly fall in love with yourself? I bet you don't. But you probably can tell me all about how you fell in love with your man. Really? We can talk about that all day long, how you fell in love with your man. But I'm gonna turn around and say, how'd you fall in love with yourself? That's a question I want to know. How you fall in love with yourself? How did that feel? Can you describe that feeling? See, when you describe that feeling, then I know you're on the right path. But if you can't describe to me how you fell in love with you, talking about you falling in love with a man, ain't it? Because I think you should fall in love with you first. I think you should spend some time embracing yourself and saying how much you love you. And understand nobody can love you like you love you. That's what I think. Because everybody got their version of how they fell in love with their man. Everybody got that. Can you tell me how you fell in love with yourself? and you share that. Do you know what that feels like? Because that's important. That's the important part. It's embracing you, hugging you, and saying, I love you. And that's the hard part. I'm not no psychiatrist. I'm not no psychologist. I'm not no mental health provider. I'm just talking straight raw from who I am and what I've learned in my experiences and how long it took me to realize that I needed to love myself. It took years, not 2 or 3, not 4 or 5. It took years, 20 to 30 years to get to where I'm at now. Because it's an ongoing battle sometimes that you have to reassure yourself. It's not something that happens overnight. And you have to be in practice and be consistent with telling yourself how much you love yourself. And they always say you how do you say that? Your life shows on your face. So even in the beautifulest woman, the prettiest woman on earth, you can look into her eyes and you can tell whether or not she truly loves her. She understands everybody loves her looks and loves how she's this and how she's that. But if she can't really truly look at herself and really say, you know what, despite all this, I still love myself. If I was not in somebody's eyes attractive, I still can love myself. You got to get to that point. You got to get to that point. And it's a long road. And it's a road of actually part of healing. It's part of healing. It really is. So I wanted to share that with you. I'm going to come back and share some more stuff with you. But I think I've talked your ears off now because that's something I do very well is talk. And I've been doing it for so long, man. Golly, I've been doing it for so long. But go to our Facebook page. You can't clip my wings. Ask to be invited in, and I definitely let you in. And you can definitely comment, give me some feedback on the page. Um, we have our magazine coming up. That is part of You Can't Clip My Wings because it's actually part of the book In Search of You. I took a chapter out of that book and named the magazine called Be Boisterous and Be Bold. And right now, we have 2 issues coming out at the same time. That's October, November. I'll start working on December, probably in December, and I'll have that out. If you want a copy of it, please let me know if you want to issue. What I'm trying to do now is I'm going to give October issue comes with a free issue of November. Okay. And it'll be subscription and it'll be like a $2 subscription monthly. Um, if you're interested in being part of if you want to be featured in our magazine, hit me up. Matter of fact, I hit a young man up last night and he'll be writing our poetry for this month, for November. He's going to be, yeah, because October's already been up. So November's poetry would be in there. So if you have poetry you write, anything that you want to talk about, any subject matter that you want to get clarification on, let me know and we can talk about it and we can write about it. You can also go to our website and there's blogs that we've talked about a lot of things on. You can read some of the blogs on there. This magazine, I want to make sure that I'm fulfilling the needs of the people. The questions that are being asked of me, that I'm getting the correct answer. But you're gonna really like it. It's not nothing. I don't have any fancy stuff in it. It's just something that you can take time out and actually, read, get some insight on some things about it. And it's dedicated to us, to women, to us. Um, you know, I think is very important. Some of the information that we share. We have women's health in there. We have women health tips, how we can take care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, whatever. Those are in there. We're going to have recipes, because you know I love recipes. Oh, you don't know, but I love recipes. I love reading them. And so we're going to be sharing some recipes in there. Um, and we're going to for November, I'm just going to give you a little bit tidbit of in November's um, issue. We're talking about winter blues. I think I put up a post talking about SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder, and how important it is around this time of year, simply because the days are shorter, it gets darker quicker, and with darkness comes depression and all that. Not to say it equated to that, but those are the how our bodies and our minds start to change during this time of year. Because we start missing people. It's the holidays, especially now. It'd probably be worse this time because we can't be around our family because of the pandemic. So those are the things that we talk about um, in the magazine. So I want to share those things with you guys. So if you're interested, just hit me up. I don't mind putting you on our list um, for the magazine. And it's going to be a virtual magazine. I'm not going to actually mail it to you. It's going to be virtual. And give me your email address, and I'll talk about payment. The payment is coming. I have to get it all where I want it. But it's going to be a $2 monthly subscription for the magazine. I don't think that's a lot. $24 a year. Ah, that ain't, that's not even a good meal. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I'll be promoting that. Matter of fact, I think I just posted the November issue magazine cover on there. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to making sure that this magazine, if anybody has any feedback, you want to talk about the magazine, you want to add something on, let me know what I'm missing. Because that magazine is for you guys. Okay. I'm just a conduit. That's it. I'm just the person who's putting it together. If there's something in there that you want to talk about, you got any advertising you want to do, you can advertise in the magazine. Okay. You can definitely advertise. And we'll talk about that too um, as we go. So I want to thank you guys for listening in to me. Um, I'm thinking I'm on my podcast. I meant to say for listening and for watching me. And like I said, if I can do this, if I can write these books, okay, if I can do this, I'm going to put up all my books. And it took me a long time to get to this. It took me a long time to get to this. You guys can do the same thing, okay? And that's a span over 30 years, okay? And I still have a crate full of books never been written, never been published. But if I can do that, simple little old me here in Louisiana, you can do the same thing. Nothing stopping you. And I just hope and pray and meditate that you guys start looking at yourselves differently and stop being caught up in trying to impress other people. Try impressing you. Okay? Come to that point in your life where, hey, guess what? I got to take care of me. My mental health is much more important right now than anything else. And you guys, especially at this moment, look at where we're at. And you have to look at too some things. Things happen for a reason in all our lives. Okay? Everything. Things happen for a reason. It's how you handle those things. That's where it comes in at. How you handle all those things. Because I know it's somebody out there going through pure hell right now, right at this very moment. And they can't talk to nobody. And they can't share what they're doing, what's going on with them. That could be us. That could be me. That could be you. And that's why if they can't find any solace in anything else, they can find solace within themselves. If nowhere else they can go within and get the power and the strength from the bottom of your belly, like a fire, and then say, look, I got to do this. I got to go through this. It's got to take place. I just got to get through it. And the only way I can get through it is because I love myself enough to make it happen. And that's where we all got to be, no matter what your situation is. Okay? So I want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for making time to listen. Okay? So I am going to come back because I want to start sharing some other things I do with you guys. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you one bad habit. Not really a bad habit. I like gadgets. I like laptops, stuff like that, because those things I can do benefit other people with. It's not something that it's just a personal thing for me. I can benefit other people with that. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today. You guys have a great, 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 great Monday. Okay, the rest of your Monday. All right. Thank you. Bye bye.